coming at you like heat-sink Wolverine. Snicker, snicker, snow.
What he's doing is imitating Wolverine's berserker attack with his adamantium claws.
It is Timmy Joe. I want to talk about this cooler from FSP. It is a monster of a 6 copper heat pipe, insane air cooler. My stuff fall apart here. If you see in the last video there, I was freezing an 8350 from AMD to 5.5 gigahertz. Check that out. But I was using this. This is usually my daily driver heatsink right now because it works so damn good. And I figured I should, even though they sent this over to me, FSP, I don't think I had to do any more than, put it in my build log for the whatever, but I figured I'd do a real review of this thing because it is super, super good. And we'll go ahead and talk about this 6 copper heat pipe air cooler that works with AM4, AM3, all the Intel stuff, and how it provides very, 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 very good cooling solution for your bottom dollar. So cue an intro, we're going to talk all about it. Yeah. Wow. So let's get the elephant out of the room or whatever. If you're a big Cooler Master fan, you know that they make a 212 Evo. It's this thing right here. There are several variations of it. This might be an older one, but for like $30, it does a very, very good job. And this is obviously a pretty big clone of it, down to kind of how the heat sinks are attached to the, looks pretty similar. But this thing here takes it to a whole other level. Now, Cooler Master does make a 6 copper heat pipe version of their like Evo series sort of, but it's pretty expensive unless you get it on Amazon. It's actually the same price as this thing. This is $42.99, so it's pretty good performance per dollar there. There is a smaller version of it too that closely matches this. I did get one from them, but I lent it to a friend who needed a cooler. I said, I'm not using it, give it a try. He says it's been working very well for him. I haven't done any like official scientific testing on it. That's because I know this thing works very, very well. Ever since I did my build log inside of this FSP case, I have been using it and noticing I get a really, really good result. So I thought maybe I would just check that the AIO wasn't a better solution. And at one point, you'll know me if you've been following me for a while, I started off with this thing, this Corsair H60. It is a $60 to $80 cooler that you can get, pretty much good for tiny solutions, or you don't have lots of room for, you got really tall RAM. Oh, not too much stuff. Oh, see you later. You got really tall RAM. It works well with an AIO. Maybe that's the reason why you need one. But you gotta spend money to get a good AIO. You gotta spend $100, $120, $140 to get at least a 240 mil rad, I find, because that 120 mil is terrible. It is not cool enough. I was my highest overclock. I had some instability even running my Ryzen over time. I don't know if that thing degraded or what. I tried a bunch of different things. I put 2 push-pull fan on it even. I increased the pump speed. I increased the fan speed. Nothing was working. But with this thing, let's say I'm 75 degrees under load, with that water cooler at 3.95 gigahertz, I am not even 60 on this thing with my 3 fans in my case, or my 4 fans and 1 pushing air through this. So there's like a 20 degree difference in cooling at least. At idle, it's pretty damn good. You can get anywhere from like 40 degrees at that overclock. It does really, really well. So I definitely recommend this cooler. Now, there are other versions of it. Pick your poison, pick your manufacturer. But when it comes to air cooling, and its performance, when you get into some of this crazy stuff, they've been using this stuff for R&Ding it for a long time. 6 copper heat pipes to this giant fin array. It does some serious cooling. And as long as you have some airflow in your case, it's going to be superior to something that's very cheap in the AIO department. So keep that in mind. If you can fit this in your case, you don't have really tall, CN tower like RAM, this does a very good job. It's $42.99. Like I said, there is a Cooler Master equivalent that's around that price, but I give this a shot. It's definitely a pretty good first attempt for some coolers from them. They had a pretty good first attempt on their case. They've been making power supplies FSP for a long time. They know what they're doing with computer parts, and you know what? This thing, I'm going to keep using it for a while until I find something better, because or unless my case doesn't fit it or a video card gets in the way or something like that, because it's the best cooling solution I've come up with. Definitely actually even quieter than the, when you put a fan against a radiator like that, it makes noise. When you put a fan against open air heatsink like that, it's not so bad. One thing I will say though, it needs to go in a Ryzen case facing, the fan's facing up or down, and with a graphics card below and nothing above, because this case does not have a vent at the top. I actually mount the fan on the side of this thing and it works, because the fans, you know, the fins arrays don't get in the way. They're kind of the same either way, and because I have that pull fan at the back of this, it works just fine. So little in between video here, I've got a review of this HyperX Geel memory that's got all kinds of crazy colors on it. I actually broke one of them, but we'll get into that in the next video. But it's actually Ryzen branded RAM, so that's pretty cool, and we'll get into the performance. Is there any different? I don't have any issues fitting this, as you'll see in this B-roll here, but I've been using some Crucial Sport ballistics, and with these BIOS updates, I don't have any issues with memory. This overclocks to its registered speed. I don't know about any higher than that, but yeah, that fits under this thing no problem, and that's where I'm at. So I'm Timmy Joe at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter. If you check me out on Twitter, I post pictures of the stuff I'm doing kind of along the way, so it's fun to follow me there. There might even be some giveaways and contests coming up on that, as well as because I got this extra RAM, you know, I get stuff sent to me. Why not give it away or whatever eventually? So hit me up on Twitter, and we'll have a review of this, as well as I have another case coming this week. I've got a bunch of stuff, and Vega is definitely going to be released at Computex, as well as apparently there's going to be a Volta card from NVIDIA. Intel says they're bringing out a crazy 18-core CPU, 18-core, to beat out the Threadripper 16. So there should be some news talked about on my channel too very soon coming up after Computex. So hit the subscribe button. I'm Timmy Joe, and thanks very much for watching my channel. It's always fun to talk computers with y'all, and I'm gonna put my computer back together and make her happen.